Hi, I'm Divij Bajaj. I am the CEO and founder for Power Gummies. Gummies have always been in trend. We've always heard as kids that there are multivitamin gummies for kids. A lot of us have had parents bring them from outside, but those were all based off gelatin, and that's why it was not a global phenomena and was restricted to limited countries that were selling those gummies for kids, which was gelatin based, and gelatin was accepted there. But since 2016, once the trend shift of pectin happened where you could make gummies in vegetarian format, the whole trend for gummies has just shifted upwards. It is, towards booming in every country, and it is growing everywhere worldwide. Also in India, if you see now, the market scenario says that about 2.8% of the whole alternative nutraceutical space is being led by the format of gummies, because that's the kind of appreciation and acceptance everybody has for the form factor of gummies. They're cute, irresistible, and tasty. When I talk about challenges for gummies, the number one challenge is the composition development, because it is very difficult to build composition which brings stability in gummies. Ultimately, these are chewable form factors, and to achieve taste plus stability where they do not melt or face the outside temperature issues is a big challenge, and it requires a lot of technology advancement and a lot of R&D to build. The second challenge that we have seen is that there is a possibility where people eat more than the required dosage, and hence bringing in water soluble vitamins in the form factor of gummies is very important, so that there is no toxicity that happens if you over consume the gummies. Thirdly, what we have noticed is that it is very difficult to produce them using lesser amounts of sugar, because we also know that today consumers are very conscious on their sugar intake. So either they have to be sugar free, or they have to be made tasty while using the least amount of sugar possible. The fourth challenge that we see is the market acceptability. As slowly people are accepting that gummies can equally perform as pills. It's not just another candy which is lesser than the form factor of pills. It is an equivalent, and this is going to take a little time for us to spread awareness about. Before COVID, we had seen that people were not really interested to understand what nutraceutical does, and a little thanks to COVID, that everybody has evolved to a market where at least they want to understand what nutraceutical is doing. They have understood the word immunity, they have understood the word vitamin C, and they're now evolving to understand what these vitamins do and how are they lacking in their diet, which in itself has given rise to a very big opportunity where at least the trend is shifting towards people accepting to have these nutraceutical as preventive add-ons in their daily life. And when I talk about gummies, of course, when they've started to understand what nutraceutical are doing, they really want to have some cool alternatives that they can have and add on as their daily habit. They don't want to have pills every day, and they want to have interesting alternatives. And that brings a very big opportunity for the whole gummy market. And as I said, that the whole gummy market is expected to grow at 4.8% of the whole nutraceutical TAM. That itself is a big opportunity where we're talking about a $38 billion industry. The trigger point happened with my mom. So she hated pills, and she had a back problem and was diagnosed with about 11 vitamins. So she was taking 11 pills every day. She started to feel, she has something like cancer. So eventually I would come up with creative solutions like crushing them and adding into honey, or baking them in the form of cookies. And that's where I realized that this is a big market opportunity, because ultimately it's not only her, it's with everybody. When it comes to pills, we treat it as a medicine, and hence we don't get into preventive healthcare. And that is why I think the nutraceutical is not growing. So I worked on about 17 variants, failed in about 17 products, and then I realized that the best way to carry forward this trend would be in the format of gummies. They're cute, they're irresistible, they're tasty, and they're reminders of our childhood memories. So that's where I thought of getting into gummies, and then came the time to decide the name. And we thought that it has to be gummies because that's the focus area. But what should we add with gummies? And that's where we realized that these gummies enable you with the best power anybody can ask for, and that's preventing you from any health hazard that you get into. So we named them Power Gummies. We move by the mantra health powered by happiness and backed by science. And hence, we make sure that the scientific part is well researched upon and we go through a rigorous process of NPD before developing any product to a level where we do clinical trials and submit them to WHO. We make sure that all the products that we sell are FDA compliant, including the packaging, and follows all the FSSAI norms. When you see any gummies bottle, you will see a very quirky packaging which is lifestyle oriented based on stripes, which is the identification pattern mark that we have worked on. So anywhere you see stripes, you'll understand that this is one of the Power Gummies variants that we are talking about. We make sure that the kind of efficacy that we bring in the product is the best in the class. As of now, we have 6 variants. The best seller is hair and nail vitamins, which has the clinical efficacy proven up till the top Asian level, where it gives 22% hair growth acceleration and 51% hair fall reduction. The next variant that we have is Beach Body Gummies for weight reduction. The third variant that we have is Jaw Dropping Skin for the youthful skin. The fourth variant that we have is PMS Gummies, which is that time of the month for period pain relief. And the last variant that we have is Sleep Gummies to give you the best sleep that you require. Going forward, we have plans to launch about 45 more variants which are in the pipeline, and you will soon hear about them. 45 variants that are more innovative, and hence we spend a lot on our R&D, and R&D has been the core of this company because we believe in delivering the best in class quality, and with that we also have to see a lot on the safety measures that we follow, because we realize that all the vitamins that we use have to be water soluble. So it takes a lot of expenditure on R&D to understand and develop compositions that are based on water soluble vitamins, so that there is no negative impact if you over consume the vitamins that we sell. Because we realize that in the format of gummies you may end up eating more than 2 gummies, and to bring that efficacy in the form factor of gummies requires a lot of expenditure on the R&D.